Actor Stephen Lang revealed some new information about Quaritch, as well as General Ardmore, which is Eddie Falco's character, in a recent interview with Empire magazine, and in this video I just want to touch on some of the questions and answers. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, and a link to this article is in the description below if you guys want to read it yourself, but the article goes as follows. You're back because you're a recom, short for recombinant. Tell us about that. He's your genetically engineered autonomous avatar. He has been downloaded with the mind, the emotions, and even more interestingly, possibly the spirit of Quaritch. Now that's all pretty esoteric stuff. He comes with a full memory backup until the time he actually undergoes the DNA transfer. So there are certain things that he doesn't have any memory of at all. He has no memory of his death, end quote. Now I just want to pause there quickly and then touch on this answer that Stephen Lang gave, because I've said before that obviously Recom Quaritch does not have any memories of his death, because if they did back up his memories in quotes, they would have done it likely right before the final battle with Jake and Neytiri, likely right before his death. That's why in the shot of the teaser, when he picks up the skull, when he picks up his own skull, he has this kind of like interesting, sad yet vengeful look in his face, because I think at that moment he realized that he died right there. He realizes that this is his skull, that his body was right here, that this was the area that he died. Moving on to the next question. But is it fair to say that he's still the same old Quaritch? It's fair to say it, but I think it's incomplete. If you think about it, in the original film, Quaritch was really a function. He was a colorful function, a personality-filled function, but he really was there to provide conflict. Now, he still has that function, but I also think just because of the depths of what Jim is exploring here, he's quite a bit more than that. We're seeing parts of him that we've not seen hitherto. That only makes sense because we don't want to be massaging the same territory over and over again. We need to go to new places, and indeed he does. Now of course what I mean here with going new places with the character, him being a avatar, so he'll be able to connect to Pandora in different ways. And that I feel is going to have an interesting change, an interesting perspective to his character, because now instead of just killing and destroying everything on Pandora, he kinda can connect with the world, he kinda can feel what this world feels like, and that is certainly going to have an impact on his character at the end of the day. What can we say about what the RDA are up to? The RDA is a big, busy, vibrant, and very cold mechanism. I think that what happened in the past to the RDA is in effect water off a mechanical duck's back to them. It's just, okay, if that doesn't do it, let's send in what does do it, because they do the math. If the outcome justifies the input, they're gonna do the expenditure. It's not a question of ego, it's just flat out cold, nasty business equations with them. That is the team that Quaritch is playing for. They're the ones who put the uniform on his back. If anything, he does his job, but I will just suggest that his relationship with the RDA is not a simple thing. So it's very interesting that Stephen Lang is saying at the end of this answer there that his relationship with the RDA is not a simple thing, because I do think there's going to be conflict with him and the RDA. I'm not saying that he's just gonna side with Jake and Neytiri against the RDA. Maybe in the later movies we'll see some sort of something happen there, but I think if anything it's going to be more a case of the RDA is going to be on one side, Jake is going to be on the other side, and Quaritch is going to be on his own side. And it's going to be more of a case of, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. But I do think that the RDA and Quaritch is eventually going to butt heads at some point. Moving on to the final question that I want to talk about, how would you describe his relationship with Eddie Falco's character Ardmore, the security general at the RDA? She looks like she can cower even Quaritch. Eddie Falco could cower a lot of people, I'm sure. She's a tough broad, a tough cookie, a beautiful person, and a beautiful piece of casting. She outranks Quaritch. It seems to me he is really trying his hardest to make it work with Ardmore, but we'll just have to see how that works out. Back in the day, Quaritch was the right angle, straight line guy in a very fluid and round world. Now it's Ardmore who lives by the book doctrinaire, and sometimes you gotta throw the book out of the window. So here also Stephen Lang talks about, Ardmore and trying his best to make it work with Ardmore, which again gives me the indication that the RDA or General Ardmore is going to be the colder one, whereas if we see the RDA destroy or burn up the forests of Pandora, you'll likely see Quaritch kinda hesitating to do it, because of course he has this new connection to the world. And again, I'm not saying that Quaritch is going to change like just changing a page on a book, but it's more a gradual change over a couple of movies. And it's going to be interesting to see how this relationship between Quaritch and General Ardmore plays out. There are a couple of more questions in this interview, and like I said, the full link to this interview is in the description below, but these were just some of the questions that I wanted to focus on. The questions that spoke about Recon Quaritch, General Ardmore, and the RDA. But how do you think the relationship between Quaritch and General Ardmore will play out? Let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.